There is a lot going on in Raid right now. In fact, today is one of the busiest days I can remember in my time in Raid. We have 6 tournaments and events that are still going on for the current fusion. There's the Yuletide Titan event. Some of those events and tournaments are mixed together for the Titan event and for the completion of the fusion. We also had the Chimera boss drop today. Now, I want you to keep your eye on the prize. You should enjoy the Chimera in whatever way you like, but remember to complete this fusion if you're going for it. Don't sit on this Yuletide event. There are a lot of good rewards out there as well. So we're going to leave Chimera for the weekend. At least I am in terms of videos. And in today's video, we're going to go over all of the tournaments and events that you have to worry about this week. And then at the very end, I'm going to pull some shards because I am going after this fusion. And there is a summon rush that I need to complete. So we'll pull some sacred shards at the end. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get started. Just a quick reminder, I have started playing King Arthur Legends Rise just recently. We have a Colred Plays clan that is in the game. If you are interested in checking out the game and joining us, please click my download link in the description of this video. Also, if you want to join our Discord community, that's the best way to get into our clan. And as always, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now let's get back to the video. Let's start by looking at the Stock the Broken Fragment event calendar. Today is Friday, December 6th. So as you can see, we actually have 6 events and tournaments going on right now. We have the Dragon Tournament, the Classic Arena Takedown, Champion Training Event, Dungeon Divers Event 3, the Artifact Enhancement, and the Summon Rush. Now, we talked about this earlier, but we know that we need at least 5 of the 15 fragments here, depending on if you got all of the fragments from the Champion Chase or if you only got some of them. There are some changes to the way that they did fragments for this particular go-round. We'll talk about that when we get back into the game. But for right now, we do have 6 potential tournaments and events that we have to complete. Now, I've already completed the Dragon Tournament, so that one is done. And I'm thinking, based on the new point totals that I've seen for the Summon Rush, that I'm going to go ahead and complete the entirety of the Summon Rush, because there are also some Titan points after the final fragments, and it's relatively cheap. Like I said, we're going to look at that in just a minute. Which means I could potentially skip up to 2 of these events, which wouldn't be bad. That would allow me to not do the Dungeon Divers Event 3 and not do the Artifact Enhancement. Now, the Dungeon Divers I may skip simply because there's only the Dragon Tournament to drop into Dungeon Divers right now, and the 2 times gear, I think, is lifesteal gear, so not that interesting to me. So I may skip this one, but I'll probably just pick up 5 extra fragments and convert that into mod, chests in the fragment collector. So it's never a bad thing to get a few extra fragments if you are interested in mod. And, I want her. Just as a completionist, as a free-to-play player, I do want to go for mod. So be aware of what is going on here. You still need most of these fragments, even if you completed the Champion Chase tournament, unless you happen to win the Champion Chase tournament or the Champion Training tournament, and then maybe you don't need quite as many fragments. But let's go right back into game so you can see what I'm talking about with this Summon Rush. It's very different than what we've seen in the past. Let's go ahead and jump in here. And what you'll see is there's a mix of snow points. They've started to do this. It was a little bit friendlier this time than the last time they did it during the Asgard Divide event. I was very angry about that because they didn't tell us. But as you can see, there are 15 fragments available for only 3,000 points. Now, Champion Training has gotten harder this fusion event, but this is the friendliest we've ever seen a Summon Rush be. Now, of course, it's the last, event, so you couldn't plan around this, but we originally thought this might take as many as 11 or 12 Sacred Shards to get all of the Stock the Broken Fragments here. And in fact, it would only take you 4 and maybe some Mystery Shards to get the first 5, and only 6 Sacred Shards total to get all 15 fragments. I'm going to be going for the 200 snow points here as well. And that means 7 Sacred Shards for me today. But that is much, much friendlier than the 11 or 12 that I expected to spend here during this Summon Rush. So, happy holidays, I guess? I don't know, but maybe the fact that they are mixing this in with the Titan event has had some effect in terms of changing where the fragments are, or maybe it was the mess up with the Champion Training And since champion training took more resources this time around, they gave us a little bit back on the summon rush. But whatever it is, I like it. I hope they keep it moving forward. Now, let's take a look at some of the events that are coming our way that aren't here on the events page, because this only gives you 24 hours warning. But we're going to go to the calendar and actually look at the week ahead. Again, it is Friday the 6th. Let me go ahead and move this a little bit forward. So as you can see down here, these are the 6 events and tournaments that we have currently for the Stock the Broken Fragment event. We have the Dragon Tournament, the Classic Arena Takedown, Dungeon Divers Champion Training, Summon Rush, and the Artifact Enhancement. And as you can see, 3 of those reward you with snow points for the Titan event. So unfortunately, you probably don't want to avoid these if you want to go for the Titan event. We'll talk about the Titan event a little bit more in just a minute. But let's also look forward. We see that we have more tournaments and events coming next week. So we have a Fire Knight tournament, Spider tournament, Ice Golem tournament, Dragon tournament. Sometimes these are turn attack tournaments. We also have a Hero's Path event. I'm trying to get that out. Hero's Path event coming. I don't know what kind it is. Maybe you have some information. You could let us know in the comments below if we have any information about what this Hero's Path event is going to entail. They'll probably give us some details before it actually drops. There are also Champion Training, Chase, Classic Arena Takedown, Artifact Enhancement, and then a warm-up event. Remember, this is a warm-up event for the Fusion. We know that it's going to be sort of Lady Christmas. It's going to be, I think her name is Noelle. So this is a thematic tie-in to the Yuletide Titan event, obviously with the holidays. We've got Sir Nicholas here, and then we're going to get Sir Nicholas's wife. I'm curious. Let me know what you think. I believe that Sir Nicholas might get an update. He might get a buff in conjunction with this event. We might see him either get some kind of duo, like synergy with his partner, or maybe he just gets a straight up buff. He is an unkillable champion. He's a Void Legendary, still a very good champion, but he's been power crept a little bit, and I wouldn't mind to seeing him get a little bit of an update. So keep your eye on all of this. You can also see that we've got some champion chase here, which will be during a 2x shard event. Now, it doesn't say what the event will be. We had 2x everything this past time around, so it might be ancients, could be voids. I don't think it's likely to be sacreds. It's likely to be ancients or voids, but we'll see what actually happens when we get to Friday the 13th. Hopefully, it'll be a lucky day for us. Okay, now let's go look at the Yuletide Titan event so we can see just how valuable this event may be. It's going to be going on for a long time, so expect it not only to mesh with the current Stock the Broken Fusion, but also the next fusion. The Christmas Fusion will probably have several events and tournaments, at least in the beginning of that fusion, that give you snow points for this Titan event. When we get to that fusion, I'll do a no-fail fusion plan like I always do, so that we can take a look at exactly how it's going to affect the Yuletide Titan event. But this is a pretty cool event, the big prize being the Sir Nicholas champion. An actual champion here, and a good one. If you don't have your Ultra Nightmare clan boss sorted yet, this is one step in the direction of an unkillable team. We've also got mythical tomes here, legendary tomes, 5-star chickens. You can see there's an avatar frame. There are good soul stones, sacred shards, all sorts of stuff. So I do think that there's a lot of value here to be had, as long as you don't have to overspend, because basically what they're doing is they're taking one fusion, rolling it into a Titan event, which is a second fusion, rolling that into the Christmas fusion, which is a third, and there's no telling that there might be another Titan event on the other side to give us a soul for either Sir Nicholas or Noelle. So we might be doing sort of 4 back-to-back fusions in order to just handle 2 fusion events, really. I'm not certain about that, but we'll have to see. Now, I think it's a little bit actually less intense when the Titan event overlaps both fusions. It means you're doing the same number of things, but getting more value for it, right? Like you're doing you're doing the same number of events and tournaments that you would do for the fusion, but you're getting those Titan points on top of that. And I think that kind of simplifies the Titan event a little bit. So it's not really quite 3 full fusions, It's more like 2.5, which I actually appreciate. So I think that's a move in a good direction as well, even though, we're going to be tied to our computers or our phones through the holiday season. Okay, so before we get to the shard pulls, we have one other thing to do here. I'm going to go ahead and pull my Prism Soulstone. I was able to collect the one from the Sand Devils Necropolis tournament, and there are some really good champions here. I think the winner for me would be Odin. That would be the biggest one. If I could get like a 5 or 6 star soul on Odin, that would be huge. Also, Sulfurion, who I just pulled, he would be absolutely massive. So those would be the souls that I would be looking for. Although there are a lot of other souls that would be fine. What I don't want is a Cardiel. I have a 6-star Cardiel soul, so I do not want that one. And, I don't need the Seer soul either. I have a 6-star there. But any of the epics, if I get an upgrade, that would be nice. Let's go ahead and just start with this Prism Soulstone. See, I've been on a hot streak lately, but I don't have any help. My nephew's not here to pull for me. Hopefully that means fewer duplicates, but who knows. We got an epic. Make it a 6-star on somebody good. It's a 4-star on a Cornelia. I don't use the champion, and it's only a 4-star, but we've got it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at the progressive event that is going on right now for the Summon Rush. There are actually 2 champions, 2 legendaries, oddly enough, I don't own here. Athelion? How do you say his name? Wallmaster. I'm going to call him Wallmaster. Wallmaster, I don't have him, and I think he'd be pretty cool. I also don't have Mortu Macabre, kind of an old school, still relevant champion in Arena. And I think that I am going to be getting more and more into Arena and also Siege as well. And this is a champion that could be very valuable in those places. Not that Wallmaster is bad. He's an excellent champion. But I have everybody else here. I will go ahead and try to get some Phoenix duplicates to get him to a +4. I think he's currently +2. So let's go ahead and take those 2 champions. And then we've got 7 shards. 7 shards. I don't expect to hit on a legendary. We've got about a 35% chance of hitting a legendary today, just based on 7 shards. I'm not going to be going past the 7 shards. There's not a lot of value up there. If you want to keep going to get those extra tomes, you can. There's a lot of extra books, and I don't want to pull them. I want to hold on. Especially, as you can see, I'm at 27, so this is going to take me to a nice round 20. In case there's some weird thing going on over the holidays where there's a guaranteed champion or something, I still want to complete the Christmas fusion as well. So I don't want to dig too deeply into my shard pool. All right, so number 1 shard here. I'm not looking for anything in particular. Obviously, a Geo as an epic would be great. For legendaries, I really need a Kymar. Duchess wouldn't be bad either. We hit. Come on, come on. Ooh, okay. Nari the Lucky. Well, it is a lucky pull. This is a new champion to me. I don't think he's that great. I don't actually know that much about him, other than he's really cool looking. I actually think this is a very cool looking champ. I love that mask. Let's go ahead and look at his kit real briefly. Has a chance of stealing a random buff. Not a bad thing. AoE has decreased accuracy and decreased resistance. This is actually, I think, usable in Chimera. So maybe Nari is going to be on the rise a little bit if he is usable in Chimera. 100% decreased accuracy and decreased resistance. It's not bad. And then we have the A3. Another AoE has a 100% chance of placing a provoke and a counterattack on this champion. Well, AoE provokes are not bad, but I don't think that's going to be useful in Hydra. I'm sorry, not Hydra, Chimera. And then it would be useful in Hydra. At the start of this champion's turn, transfers 1 random buff from a random enemy to a random ally. Again, that's not a bad thing either. I don't know why he's so bad. Maybe his multipliers are not so good. He is a defensive-based champion. Maybe he doesn't hit that hard, but I kind of like his kit. And he might be usable in Chimera. Who knows? No rush to build him, but it's cool to actually get a new champion on the account. So let me know if you have Nari the Lucky. First of all, do you think he's going to be usable in Chimera? And second of all, do you use him anywhere else? Maybe Cintranos. All right, so we got 5 more shards to pull. And Uji, not a bad champion. 4 more. I'm pretty happy with what I've gotten so far. Honestly, a Farrakhan the Fat. That's a nice empowerment there. I'm still hoping for maybe a Phoenix or 2. I don't mind any epics that are worth empowering for me as a free-to-play player. Those are great. This is not so great. I don't like Terror Beast. 2 more. I don't use him for anything. Even though I have Packmaster, I still don't use Terror Beast. There we go. There's 1 Phoenix. That's going to give us another empowerment on him. I think that's going to get me some more crit damage, maybe some more speed. And then one last epic. Laudric Falconheart. Not an epic I use at all. But so not a bad haul for today for me. Let's go ahead and jump over to the Guardian Ring. And I want to see my Phoenix there. I don't know. He's a +1. Yeah, he was a +1. So here we get speed, attack, and crit damage. 5% crit damage. All good things that he needs. Even the accuracy is good on Phoenix. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm using this champion more and more than I ever have before. People have always told me he's good. I've tried building him on other accounts and never gotten a lot out of him. But I'm actually really enjoying him right now. So if you are interested in maybe a Phoenix guide, let me know that in the comments below as well. But otherwise, that is it for me today. Thanks so much for hanging out. I have been Colred, and I will see you in another video soon.